All right, so this was the bonus question on the last quiz. We have a trapeze artist, looks like juggling. I blew this up so it's a little bit blurry, but juggling on top of a wire between two support poles. And we're supposed to figure out how tall, how far off the ground the trapeze artist is. And we do this using the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And in this particular case, our 90-degree angle is right here. And so that means our 15 is our C. And A and B don't really matter. They're interchangeable. But C is the longest side and the side that doesn't touch the 90-degree angle. That's how you find the longest side if you're ever confused. So we know that A is x minus 3. So I'm going to do x minus 3, and that is squared. Plus B is x. So I'm going to do b, or x, squared. And that is equal to c squared, which is 15 squared. And I'm going to simplify this out a little bit. X minus 3 squared. This is where a lot of people make mistakes. They square the x, they square the negative 3. But remember that x minus 3 squared means x minus 3 times x minus 3. And everything in the left parentheses needs to be multiplied by everything in the right parentheses. So x times x gives me x squared, and x times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times x, get a thicker pen here. Negative 3 times x is another negative 3x, and negative 3 times negative 3 is plus 9. And this is a special case as well. If you remember that, you could do that, but that's not necessary. And then we just have our plus x squared is still right there. And 15 squared is 225. Okay, so left-hand side, I can do some simplifying. I have this x squared right here, and this x squared right here, so that gives me 2x squared. I have a negative 3x and another negative 3x. Those can go together, so that becomes a minus 6x. And then I have plus 9 equals 225. And what can we do? Oh, yeah. Sorry, there's several different ways at this point of going about this. I'm just trying to base it off of the information that we had before we took this quiz. And so we know how to solve by factoring. And to solve by factoring, we need this to be equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 225 from both sides. Minus 225. And that gives us 2x squared minus 6x. 9 minus 225 is negative 216. And that is equal to 0. You can multiply 216 by, we're going to do the x, and you can multiply 216 by 2 and go about by regrouping. But I noticed that all of these are even numbers, so I'm going to just divide everything by 2 on both sides. And that's nice because 0 divided by 2 is 0. All right, so when we divide everything by 2, we get x squared. We get x squared, not eraser. X squared minus 3x minus 108 still equals 0. And we can factor this one. So we're going to go to our little green x. We have a negative 108 in the top and a negative 3 in the bottom. Looking for factors of 108, we could do 54 and 2. That's not going to give us a negative 3. We could do 9 and 12. 9 and 12. 9 times 12. One of them has to be negative. Let's do negative 12 and positive 9. Negative 12 times 9 is negative 108. Negative 12 plus 9 is negative 3. And so we get x minus 12 times x plus 9 equals 0. And remember our 0 product property. What can I plug in for x to make this 0? Well, I can plug in x equals 12. That would give me a 0. And x equals negative 9. So which one is it? The only one that really makes sense is x equals 12 and that's in feet. So x equals 12 feet. It doesn't equal -9 because how do you have a pole that is -9 feet tall? That doesn't make sense. So it's x equals 12 feet. Incidentally, the other side, the x minus 3, that is 9 feet. And by Pythagorean theorem, 9 squared plus 12 squared equals 15 squared. And that's it for how to do the bonus problem.